Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Free Beat, where I post new music-related content every single day. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Let's get started. So today I'm going to share one of my absolute favorite drum fills of all time with you guys. It's very, very simple, and it's actually so simple, in fact, that a lot of folks probably wouldn't even consider it a drum fill, but used in the right way at the right time, it can have just about as much impact as anything you could possibly play on a drum set or sequence into your drum parts. It's as simple as putting the crash cymbal on beat 4 instead of on the downbeat. So let's go ahead and build a very, very basic pattern here. I've got the PO32 tonic to demonstrate. As usual, we've got a kick drum, a snare drum, and a hi-hat. Let's bring that down in pitch a little. There we go. And then for this video, I've also got this sound right here. I'm going to pretend that's a crash cymbal. You just want something that has some sustain to it and some kind of like that kind of sound. So that should work just fine. Let's go ahead and build a basic pattern. I'm just going to put the kick on 1, on 3, on the and of 3, hi-hat on 8th notes across the board, snare drum on 2 and 4. And we're going to bring the tempo down. 125, sure. Actually, let's go a little slower. 117, there we go. That's solid. For teaching purposes, I'm going to copy this pattern a few times down here. So the natural instinct of most drummers is to play a fill and then hit the crash cymbal on beat 1, on the downbeat of the next measure. So let's go ahead and program something in here. Just a basic snare drum fill. We'll just do something like this. And then on the next measure, we would put a crash cymbal on beat 1. So it would sound like this together. Nothing wrong with that, but it gets stale after a while, especially if we were to treat it like the only turnaround in a song. So we'll do 3 of the normal pattern, then 1 with the fill, then 1 with the crash on 1, and then 2 more, and so forth. 2, 3, 4. See what I mean? It just, that over and over will get repetitive. So one way to spice it up is to just put the crash cymbal on beat 4 with a snare drum. So let's go back to our original pattern here. And we're going to do just that. So let's get our snare drum sound. It's already there on beat 4. We're going to go to our bass drum. It's already okay. We don't want it on beat 4 or any of these steps here. Then we're going to go to our hi-hat. We're going to take it off of the last 2 steps, off beat 4 and the and of beat 4. And we're going to get our crash cymbal sound. And we're going to put that square on beat 4. Let's listen. Very, very cool. So now let's go back to our original pattern, which I had stored away down here. Let's go ahead and play 3 of these, and then 1 with the crash on beat 4. Let's listen to this. So much better, so much more dynamic. It also kind of gets you out of the mindset of a typical drummer of just putting the crash on 1 over and over and over again. Again, there's nothing wrong with the crash on 1, but that's what the audience is expecting. So if you want to catch their attention with the drums, which you should be trying to do that in my opinion, put it on 4. It's also very effective if you set up the crash beforehand. Let me show you what I mean by that. So we're going to take the original pattern, let's copy it into another blank slot. We're going to go doom da ta. So for that, we're going to need to use some 16th notes. Take the snare drum off of beat 2 and beat 4, just so we can have it blank, and I'll show you guys where to put it. We're going to put it on the and of beat 1, the of beat 1, the downbeat of beat 2, and then back on the downbeat of beat 4. Pretty obnoxious pattern on its own, but trust me, it's going to turn into something that sounds very, very cool. So we're going to get our hi-hat. Now we're going to take our hi-hat off of everything except the downbeat of beat 1. So we're going to take it off the and of beat 1, beat 2, the and of beat 2, beat 3, the and of beat 3, beat 4, and the and of beat 4. And all that's left to do is get that awesome crash cymbal, put it smack dab on beat 4. Let's take a listen. If you really, really wanted, you could take that hi-hat and put it on 3 and the end of 3. If you don't like the sound of just your kick, which for me, I'm going to drop the kick a bit in pitch. And now I'm going to take the hi-hat again off of 3 and the end of 3. I think that sounds pretty cool. Pretty good like that. We're going to take a short commercial break, but when we come back, I'm going to show you how to combine the crash cymbal snare drum on beat 4 with a run of 16th notes on the snare drum that sounds absolutely epic. During the commercial break, hit that like button if you haven't already, and be sure to leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite drum fill is of all time, and who knows, maybe we'll do a video on how to sequence it. See you guys in just a sec. Alright, we are back from the commercial break. I hope you guys left a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite drum fill is. We're working on one of mine right now, which is to put the crash cymbal on the downbeat of beat 4 with a heavy snare drum. Now I'm going to show you guys how to play some 16ths on the snare drum that lead up to the crash that make it sound very, very cool. Now this fill is one of my favorite things to play on an actual drum set. I'm going to find a completely blank pattern here, nothing. First of all, we're going to get our snare drum. We're going to play on all 4 notes on count 1, so 1 E and a. Same with 2, 2 E and a. Same with 3, 3 E and a. And then end right there on the downbeat of count 4. And we're also going to go to our crash cymbal, and we're going to put that on the downbeat of beat 4. Just like that. Now, what gives this fill its groove, and yes, fills can have groove, trust me. We're going to take our kick drum, we're going to put it on the and of 1, we're going to put it on the and of 2, and the and of 3. Now listen to this. I'm going to tighten up the snare drum just a bit. There we go. And then, since I'm on the PO32 tonic, I have an accent option. So I'm going to play, hold accent, and put the accent right on the downbeat of beat 4. Let's listen. Let's pair it up into our pattern chain. So we're just going to do the normal pattern 3 times, and then our fill. Let's listen. Now obviously you'll want to spend a little more time than this fine-tuning your actual sounds, or if you've already got a track that you're working on set up with some sounds on there, you can just use those. That should work just fine, as long as you've got a more sustained sound for your crash hit. I've got one more fill to show you guys, and it's actually very, very similar to the one we just sequenced, those 16ths, so we're going to copy that into another slot. And then we're going to go into our snare drum. We're going to space it out a bit. So the first step we're going to remove is, sorry, the people upstairs are being incredibly loud. We are going to remove the and of 1. Now you should be able to hear how that interplays with the bass drum, because we took this step off of the snare drum, but that's where the bass drum is sitting. So it kind of gives this up and down feel, which is really cool. And if you guessed that we were going to do the same thing on the and of 2, you are correct. Let's listen now. That could be a very good place to stop and just use that as your fill. Very neat. However, I'm also going to remove the snare drum on the and of 3. I really like that stutter effect. And since we're on a pocket operator, we can take this to the next level. So let's hold beat 1 and press BPM. Now let's do it on the of beat 1. Then we'll do it on the of beat 2. There you have it, one of my favorite drum fills. To me, it sounds a lot like something Billy Cobham would play. He's one of my favorite drummers, so I really like being able to emulate this on the pocket operators. So let's go ahead and we'll chain our original pattern 3 times, and then we'll play the new one. And of course, since we're on a pocket operator, we can put lots of effects on there too. Stuff like that. That's what makes these so much fun. That was awesome. I want to try effect number 16 before we wrap things up here. Good stuff, good stuff. So there you have it, one of my favorite drum fills to play. Just don't put the crash on beat 1 sometimes. Put it on beat 4. Hell, you can even put it on beat 3, beat 2. You can put the crash wherever you want there to be emphasis, and that's what's so great about it. It's not just for the downbeat. I happen to really like it on 4, probably because I'm a big Rush fan. So if you guys like this video, if it taught you something new, maybe you learned a new drum fill today, go ahead and leave a like on it. If not, you can leave a dislike, that's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thanks for being here, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Bye.